We currently sitting on 29% average capacity for the city. And so far we have decommissioned Upper Eng Simela Dam, and in the last two weeks we decommissioned Zenzele Ndebele. So out of the 6 operational dams, we now have only 4 dams supplying. Our average consumption is usually about 125, 130 megaliters of water per day. So after we decommissioned Mzingwane, we're actually down to almost about 97 megaliters per day. People have always asked, what's the difference between water shedding and water rationing? Water rationing, like I said, is the limit that we ask people to consume per household. Currently, we're at 500 liters per day, which is equivalent to 2.5 drums for high-density households, then 750 liters per day for low-density households. But people have tried to stay within those limits. But when it comes to water shedding, the difference is that what we're getting from the dams, whether you stay within your limit, is no longer sufficient to be distributed across the whole city, which is why we then supply different parts of the city on different days to try and distribute the legally available water. Our water is treated at Ncema, part of it. The bulk of it is treated at Criterion Water Treatment Works, which is at Benside. So from Benside, water comes by a gravity system up to Magwegwe Reservoir. Magwegwe Reservoir has a holding capacity of 108 megaliters of water. That's what usually stays in the reservoir. And it should operate at 17 feet on average for it to have enough pressure to actually distribute to the whole network. The network also distributes through a gravity system. In other words, we don't pump anything here. It all goes like a river, which is why when we open up the water, it's the low-lying areas that will receive water first. Then it builds up to the high areas. High areas being part of this Magwegwe area, Ntumbane, Emakhandeni, when we look at where this reservoir distributes to. So when it's below a critical level, which is about 13 feet, it's no longer able to distribute to those areas like Makhandeni and Ntumbane. But currently sitting at 6 as at the afternoon. But as water comes from Magwegwe, from Criterion to Magwegwe, there are also off-takes from the line that comes here, which is Mkanini, Nketa, and Kulumani. So to balance here, we now then have to close those off-takes for Magwegwe Reservoir to pick up. Then when Magwegwe Reservoir is picked up, we then open the Nketa Mkanini area. But the challenge for now has been the consumption, that when you open, whatever is in the reservoir is just going. And we're asking people to conserve, be patient. We have published a 72-hour shading program, which obviously, because of the status of the reservoir, we cannot immediately get to. But we're hoping by next week, we should be able to gradually get to our program. So what will be going on now is that we'll open areas that are due for water on the given day, but it might not be there for the full period. So when we open water, we request residents to fill what they need to fill in. We'll try and open again on the scheduled day, but they might not have water for the other 4 days that are not within the shedding period, but we'll allow them to at least collect water during that period so that we can stabilize our reservoirs. Once we stabilize our reservoirs, then we should be able to go into our shedding program as published.
So with the explanation that you've given, it means that it's possible that you can open your reservoir here, and if a person stays in Makhandeni and it's a high area, the person might not get water for another 24 hours or so.
Normally when we open the reservoirs, it takes at least 12 to 18 hours to build it up, the pressure, provided we opened the reservoir at the right level. But the challenge that we're having now is that when we opened the reservoir, there will still be maybe a 13. So immediately when you open it, it goes down those high areas, even if you keep the system on for more than 24 hours. Because the reservoir is low, water won't still get there. Which is why we've been targeting with some bowsers those areas that are actually seriously affected.